The Diary of Mr. Poynter by M.R. James. The sale room of an old and famous firm of book auctioneers in London is, of course, a great meeting place for collectors, librarians, dealers. Not only when an auction is in progress, but perhaps even more notably when books that are coming on for sale are upon view. It was in such a sale room that the remarkable series of events began, which were detailed to me not many months ago by the person whom they principally affected, namely, Mr. James Denton, M.A., F.S.A., etc., etc., sometime of Trinity Hall, now or lately of Rendcombe Manor in the county of Warwick. He, on a certain spring day not many years since, was in London for a few days upon business, connected principally with the furnishing of a house which he had just finished building at Rendcombe. It may be a disappointment to you to learn that Rendcombe Manor was new. That I cannot help. There had no doubt been an old house, but it was not remarkable for beauty or interest. Even had it been, neither beauty nor interest would have enabled it to resist the disastrous fire which, about a couple of years before the date of my story, had razed it to the ground. I am glad to say that all that was most valuable in it had been saved, and that it was fully insured, so that it was with a comparatively light heart that Mr. Denton was able to face the task of building a new and considerably more convenient dwelling for himself and his aunt, who constituted his whole menage. Being in London with time on his hands, and not far from the sale-room at which I have obscurely hinted, Mr. Denton thought that he would spend an hour there upon the chance of finding, among that portion of the famous Thomas collection of manuscripts which he knew to be then on view, something bearing upon the history or topography of his part of Warwickshire. He turned in accordingly, purchased a catalogue, and descended to the sale-room, where as usual the books were disposed in cases, and some laid out upon the long tables. At the shelves, or sitting about at the tables, were figures, many of whom were familiar to him. He exchanged nods and greetings with several, and then settled down to examine his catalogue and note likely items. He had made good progress through about 200 of the 500 lots, every now and then rising to take a volume from the shelf and give it a cursory glance, when a hand was laid upon his shoulder and he looked up. His interrupter was one of those intelligent men with a pointed beard and a flannel shirt, of whom the last quarter of the 19th century was, it seems to me, very prolific. It is no part.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?